Hey, Holly. Thank you for coming. Do you think that you won that fight?
I felt like she started a little strong, and I felt like I had the better of the last 3 rounds. I had her drop twice. I know I didn't do I know what my capabilities are. I know I didn't do as much damage as I wanted to do when I had her on the cage, but as far as kind of controlling the pace and controlling the fight, so yeah, the fight could have gone either way. I felt like I had 3 rounds, but I also had her rocked twice and didn't capitalize on it, and that's my own fault.
So you think you won 3, 4, and 5?
Yes.
Obviously a little controversial with those two punches that landed. Actually, it was three. One big one, I think it was the end of the third and maybe end of the fourth or second and third, and then the two. Yeah. Do you feel like a point should have been deducted after the first time that this happened? And if so, should another one have been deducted after the second time it happened?
You know, a lot of times with the first one, they give a warning. That's kind of normal. I wouldn't expect them to take a punch after the first one, even though it was intentional. And then the second time, you think that at that point they would do something. But I'm just one of those, I don't know, I'm one of those people that feels like I should not have let her done it anyway. Yes, it's after the bell. I hear the bell. I stopped and she threw. It wasn't like in the last punch of a combination when the bell rang. Like it was intentional. It was after the bell. Those are some of her best shots of the whole night were after the bell, and I don't know how the judges saw that. If they see that as points for her, then, what can you do? It's like, I should have kept fighting too then. I mean, I should have really capitalized on moments when I did well and not even let her get to that point.
Do you think she did it on purpose?
Well, yeah. It's like I said, if it's one shot after the bell at the end of a combo, then yeah, that's an accident. Sometimes you're in the flurry of it, but it's. I still think I could have won the fight on my own.
Okay, and last thing, will you stick around at 145 now, or are you going back down to 135?
I'm sitting in a spot where my last fight, 3 fights, I'm 0-3, so I'm gonna take whatever they'll give me.
Okay, thank you.
Holly, can you talk about your execution tonight? And I mean, did you feel that you stuck to the game plan? You've mentioned in the past some hesitation sometimes with your combinations and things. Did you execute the game plan properly tonight?
No. A little better, but no. Part of that is just feeling the fight as it goes, and especially when I had her rocked and she literally dropped to her knees. I stood there in the clinch with her. That was stupid. I should have gone after her. Those are moments where, with experience in fighting, you know that this is the time to try and capitalize, and I didn't.
And you mentioned that the shots, those illegal shots, especially I think the one at the end of round 2, that they were intentional. Can you say how it impacted you? Because especially at the end of round 2, it looked like your knees buckled after she landed it.
She hit hard shots. She hit hard shots after the bell. I mean, those are the hardest shots I felt in the whole entire fight.
And lastly, for me, you guys were very respectful of each other all week, but you did say you think those are intentional. Have you lost a little bit of respect for her with those shots?
I guess I'd say so, but I mean, it's still a fight. I mean, I know she's not in there to try to be my friend either, so, but next time, I'll just be ready to throw back.
Well, that was my last question, but let me say, do you think there should be a next time? And we still really don't know what's going on with Cyborg, and there's a potential she could be out for a while. Do you think because of the way this thing played out, it seemed like people's scores were all over the board, the illegal shots, do you think maybe it warrants a rematch?
I think it warrants a rematch. I mean, I think when you have more than half the people saying that the fight should have gone the other way, usually that warrants a rematch, so that would be awesome.
I know you said you felt you won 3 rounds. We couldn't hear what your corner was saying. Was your corner telling you that you were up or down? Were they giving you advice between rounds?
My corner always wants me to do the best, so they were still telling me to, back off and strike with her, and I wasn't listening to them, and that was my fault. Because they just know I could have capitalized even more. I think it's twofold. I think it was kind of not fully committing to the takedown. I think that's, part of it. When you're going to go for a takedown, you have to commit to it. I think that was the biggest thing. And if I wasn't going to commit to it, I should have just stood back and striked. That was my flaw. I think that I would think that they would want to give a rematch. But like I said, my job is to train and fight, and their job is to promote. So I just hope I get the opportunity.
Hello, Holly. Over here. To your right. Here. What were some of the openings that you saw for yourself, and also the openings that your coaches saw for you that you feel you didn't quite capitalize upon?
I know what those are, but if we rematch,
Okay.
I probably don't really want to tell you.
All right. So what we'll say is, was there anything that she provided that you didn't anticipate, something that came as a surprise, whether it be her speed, quickness, punching power?
No, and that's what makes me the most frustrated is that, and I always say this, I'm always taught all the right things, and I could have even capitalized more to win because she did everything my coaches were telling me.
Okay, last question. So you had her well scouted. There were things that you knew that you could take care of, that you could capitalize upon. But what does it seem is the disconnect? Because from a strategy standpoint, it seems like your game plan is there, but over the last couple of bouts, you haven't been quite able to execute the way you wanted to. Like, what do you feel? Is it something internal? Is it perception? Or is it distraction?
I don't really have an answer.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Holly, you said before that you think you could have won the fight on your own anyway, but aren't you frustrated that the referee didn't, do the right thing and take a point away, and also issue an official warning the first time around?
Yes, those things probably should have been done. However, the fighter in me just thinks, how about let's just knock her out? I don't really like to put blame on there. Yes, those things, you look at the scoring, you look at how the ref's supposed to do it, you look at those things, yes. That could have changed the way the whole fight went, but I also could have capitalized when I had her hurt, and that could have changed the whole way the fight went.
Also, how did those punches affect you? Because like you said, those are probably your best punches of the fight, and since it's after the horn, you aren't defending yourself necessarily.
I mean, they're there. They were stingers, but I was still there, so I can't say that I couldn't perform because of that. I'm not going to sit there and make that an excuse.